Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. Today is Wednesday, so it is a weigh-in and a meeting highlights day. So we'll get right into the weigh-in. I thought I had a pretty good week. I had a few slip-ups here and there, a couple snack accidents, but I felt my week was pretty good and I stayed the same. Exactly the same to the ounce. It is what it is. So just keep going. That's all we can do. I'm not going to get upset. I'm not going to get crazy about it. And you know, sometimes if you have a good week, a loss takes a week to show up on the scale. Just like if you have a rough week, sometimes it takes a week to show up on the scale. So I'm just going to keep on swimming and doing what I'm doing, and we'll see what happens. It's the only thing I can do. So let's get right on to the meeting topic. This week, it is about neuroplasticity. Ooh, big word. And what, might you ask, is neuroplasticity? It is the capacity for our brains to change based on what we do, what we learn, and what we experience. So, basically they're saying that our brains can change no matter how old we are. And they want you, I missed a little piece of paper. They want you to try this. Form and strengthen the pathways in your brain to get closer to your long-term goals. They say to start by answering these questions. And the first question is, what paths, meaning actions, do you automatically take in your day-to-day life? Are they leading you away from your long-term goals or towards your long-term goals? Now, I'm going to use an example that I do every day that I just recently started doing within the last month. You know, one of my goals is always drinking more water. Yeah. So what I started doing about a month ago is in the morning when I pour my first cup of tea, I also get my first jar of water out. I just use a mason jar with a straw in it. And I put that on the counter right next to my tea. I make a full pot of tea in the morning. It's about 2.5 cups. But my rule now is after I drink my first cup of tea, I have to drink a whole jar full of water before I allow myself another cup of tea. So my action is to put that water right out on the counter. And I know I have to drink that before I go on with more tea. And so far it is working. It is, you know, like changing my brain a little bit. So that is leading me towards my long-term goals. Now, if I had a habit that wasn't, that's what needs to be changed. And my habit was just drinking tea. And I would drink that whole pot and I would make another pot. That's not leading me toward my goal of getting more plain water in and flushing out my system with just good old plain water. So by not doing that, I wasn't going towards my goal. So that's what worked for me. It says, what newer paths could you build to get closer to these goals? Well, I could say I have to drink 2 jars of water before I have a next pot of tea. Or I'm not allowed to make an afternoon pot of tea until I have all my water in for the day. So these can be more goals and more actions that I set for myself. You kind of ramp it up. Once you hit that first one, you ramp it up. Okay, let's say we're going to use the example they use. They say, what if you want, let's say you tend to rely on pre-made meals when you're short on time, but you have big dreams of upping your cooking skills. Grabbing those pre-made meals is a path that might not be working for you because you're relying on them and you're not cooking. A new path you could build would be coming up with a handful of quick meals you can whip up in no time. Or it could also be meal prepping or meal planning. It could be any one of those. You just need to find out what that action is that is not helping you move toward your new goal. And you need to change that action. You need to rewire your brain or retrain your brain to use your new action. Like, we'll take their example of the pre-made meals, especially if you work outside the home. It's so easy to say, oh my gosh, I don't have anything for dinner. I don't know what we're going to eat. I didn't thaw anything. There's nothing in the house. I'll just run by the grocery store and pick up a frozen lasagna. Or I'll just run by the grocery store and pick up a rotisserie chicken. And you know what? That's fine once in a while, but it's not good on a daily basis. It's not good for our pocketbooks because we're probably spending a lot more money than we would if we just did it from scratch. It's not good for our health because those pre-made meals, they're not good for us. They're convenient, absolutely. And everybody uses them once in a while. But that's what they should be used for, emergencies. And number 3, you just need to learn to plan because, face it, those meals are going to be a lot higher in points than a meal you make on your own. Yeah, that's just me. And that's just how I feel about it. And I am a cook from scratch girl, and I've ramped that up this year. And that has been part of my brain change, is cooking things from scratch. I have to Uber plan now. I already know, on Sunday, we're having French dip sandwiches. So I need to make buns Sunday morning to put those sandwiches on. I know I take it to the extreme, and I get that, and certainly not anybody else is doing, or very few people are doing what I do, and that's fine. That's why there's grocery stores, and that's why there's convenience stores. But you just have to look at your goals and fit these things into your goals. My goal is to cook from scratch as much as possible. So that's why I have to fit these things in. If your goal is to just cook 3 dinners a week, that's doable, right? You can fit that in. Just plan them out. Plan them out and make it stick. Say, under no circumstances am I going to order out or buy a frozen meal or do this or do that on the nights that I have dinner planned. I am going to do it. I'm going to make those dinners. They don't have to be 6-course dinners. Nope. It can be as simple as soup and sandwich. It can be as simple as crock pot chicken. That's all it has to be. Your crock pot, your Instant Pot, they could be your best friend, your air fryer, your oven. All you need is a little bit of planning. So, retrain your brain is basically what it comes down to. And then after that second question, they want you to jot down these new paths you could take. And when you choose them instead of your old paths, and when you would choose them, like I said, taking their example of cooking more, don't stress yourself out by saying, I'm going to cook 7 nights a week. I'm going to cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. If you're not used to cooking, you're not going to do that, and you're going to stress yourself out. Nobody needs to do that from the beginning. Just like I've said before about exercise. If you want to start running, you're not going to go out and run a marathon on your first day. You're going to take a walk around the block if you're not used to physical activity. And your goal of cooking or your goal of drinking water can all be the same thing. My goal of drinking water, I did not say, well, I'm going to start drinking a gallon a day today. I had to ease myself into it. I did. And just like with their example with cooking, don't stress yourself out over it. Little baby steps, progress, not perfection. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do is make the little baby steps, make the attempts, and then you're going to feel so good about yourself that you're getting it done that it's going to build, and it's going to build a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And you will be shocked at over time how your brain is retrained and how your brain is refocusing. And it says to reflect on the paths you chose to help see your progress. Keep an eye on how and where you can make tweaks. So see what your progress is. If I walk out of the kitchen with my teacup in my hand and not my water cup, it's not a good thing. I need to have them both with me. You know, if you don't remember, if you don't leave yourself a note to thaw out the chicken breast or thaw out the ground beef or thaw out the pork chops in the morning, you're going to run into problems. So find little things that can help you make your goals and your actions attainable and rework your brain. Because we all can and we know it. Sometimes we're just stubborn and we don't want to do it. I know I am. So give yourself a little grace, take baby steps, and work towards those actions that you want to change. Now, let's see what the recipe of the week is. Chocolate chip cherry biscotti. Oh, yes, please. Let's look at this recipe. You know I'm never really thrilled about their recipes. 24 pieces, each piece is 4 points. Flour, baking powder, salt, egg whites, sugar, canola oil. I would substitute coconut oil probably. I don't use canola oil. Mini chocolate chips and chopped dried cherries. I don't have any dried cherries, but I have some frozen ones. That looks really good. 4 points for one cookie. I'm trying to see if you could use monk fruit in place of the sugar to get that down a little bit. And maybe instead of a half a cup of mini chocolate chips, we could use some Lily's chips. That would get that down a little bit. And maybe instead of dried cherries, we could use fresh cherries. I'm not sure about that. Or like some frozen ones if we really drain them well. Might be able to get it down to 2 or 3 points a piece. But I know I love biscotti, so I don't really do well making it. I've tried in the past and it's okay, but I might have to try this one. We'll have to see. So anyway, that is the weekly topic and that is my weigh in and that is it for me today. I will be back hopefully tomorrow with a full day of eating, and if not, definitely on Friday with my menu plan for next week. So have a fantastic day. Think about those actions and think about how you want to retrain your brain. Just pick something and go for it. Don't overwhelm yourself. Nope, don't do it because you won't stick to it. Trust me, I know. So have a great day, everyone, and I will talk to you all very soon.